Welcome to the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. You're watching the Solid Sports and Gaming channel, and you're watching the Solid Sports video blog. I'm Troy West, and thank you for joining me. This is episode 169, and the date is March 12th, 2022. Thank you so much for watching. This is my first regular video recording right now. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for joining me this evening. It is, let me give you the exact time, because this video, might not post to about sometime in the middle of the night, but it's 9:35 Eastern time. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back on YouTube. I'm just glad to be back, period. A lot of things has been going on for the last few years. I just appreciate the people that's been with me with my ups and downs and everything else. So I'm glad y'all guys are here. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Big news everywhere. Big baseball news, NFL news, NBA dropping off as well. So, excuse me. I'm glad to be back. Phew, man, I be tired, man. I be working a lot. Like, if anybody knew my real work schedule, man, I work, but now I'm actually working right now, sorta. It's just this a more calmer time at night. I'm in my own personal room. People have seen this room for the last 3 years. I've been here. You know, it's going on 4 years since I've been here. But I'm just glad to be back on YouTube. This is what I love to do. I love to talk about sports. Hopefully, I just want my channel to grow enough that, you know, I'm interacting with people leaving comments, and I welcome that. So I never turn the comments off enough. I want to go back and forth, or, you know, just to interact with people, just to see what your opinions are, and I give you my opinions. We got a big show tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Normally don't record at this time. Usually record when I'm off, completely off, and usually in the daytime, but Saturdays is my time, so either way I'm gonna record on Saturdays, even if it's daytime or night. I decided to do that, make it more regular. But tonight, you know, we're gonna talk about a lot of things, the world, what's going on in sports. Major League Baseball is back. They did an agreement the other day, so we'll talk about the changes with everybody agreed to at least touch on, you know, what's to look forward to this season. Spring training already about to start. Games don't start to March 17th though, which is Thursday. My sister's birthday, by the way. One of my sisters, my older sister, that's still here. It's her birthday next Thursday, so I gotta remember to reach out to her. But that's what spring training was talking baseball. We'll talk about the other things. NBA Talk Lebron James is on fire right now, another 50-point game. We'll talk about the pros and cons of that. Congratulations to Coach Greg Popovich. I think he's the all-time, I don't know if it's, I think it's the all-time leading winning coach in the regular season. I don't know if it's all-time, but in the regular season, because, you know, Phil Jackson probably has the postseason wins. If you know, if we going off the top of my head, I think he probably leads all time, you know, as far as wins, period. I think Coach Popovich, as far as regular season, has passed everyone. And we'll talk about the Phoenix Suns and the Brooklyn Nets and other things in the NBA as well. NFL news, a lot of NFL news this week. You know, the new season about to start, or the league season about to start. Aaron Rodgers contract, the Carson Wentz trade, the Deshaun Watson news, and other things going on in the NFL. We'll touch on some of that stuff. NCAA basketball is jumping off right now. Selection Sunday is tomorrow, so I'll touch on all that stuff. But let's start with baseball. I always start with baseball first because, you know, a lot of the people I know, a lot of my subscribers probably not real big baseball fans. Sorry, just got a message like I said. I gotta check my messages. I don't know if they're important or not because of work. Baseball, like I said, they came up with an agreement. If you watch my shorts on my channel, I've been, I advocated for baseball to be back. I was happy that they was back. Big baseball fan. To be biased, my Atlanta Braves are the defending champions. So hopefully they get to defend their championship outright, even though they're going to have a tougher battle this year. I think the National League East is going to be tough this year. Speaking of that, I'm going to do a preview video prior to weekend. Probably be on a Saturday though, because the season's supposed to start on April 7th, which I think is like a Tuesday, like early in the week. So I'm going to do something that weekend before and give you a preview. I'm gonna do some more research and stuff, but I'm just glad baseball is gonna come back. The big changes, with the CBA, as far as money, I think basically what I read, the players got mostly what they want. The annual salaries are up. All the salaries got a boost, so that was good for the players. But as far as for our fans, what to look forward to, it'll be 12 playoff teams now. So I think obviously in each league it'll be 6 teams in each league. I remember, I came up with it was 4 teams. So now it's all the way up to 6. It was 5 for a while, and then the 4 and the 5 basically was wild card teams. They played a 1-game playoff, and then they moved on to face whoever the top seed was. But even before that, I remember when it was just 4 teams, and the laws is the 4th team wasn't. The wild card team was with the 4th seed, wasn't in the number 1's division. You faced the 1, but if they was, then you got the 3rd seed, which was another division one. It's 3 divisions still. So I don't know how that's gonna work now. Honestly, I tried to break it down in my head. Like, is it gonna be, it's gonna be more wild card teams, which is gonna be like a couple of 1-gamers, and then, the 1s and the 2s now get, those top seeds and the lower seeds or what. So we'll see how that works. That's one change. One of the biggest changes as well, the National League now has a DH, so it's not just the National League without a DH, so that's a big thing. Like I said, I ain't gonna lie, as me being an older person and an old school person, and from the surface, I'm like, it's gonna take me a while to get used to it, but at the same time, I think for the game, and for the game to be more offensive, to take the pitches completely out of the bat, and I think that might be overall better for the game. So that change ain't really that big to me, and they're going to still play all 162 games, which a lot of people, which baseball was worried about. Well, they still get all 162, so the players ain't gonna lose no money this year. It's basically the season's pushed up a week further. So maybe, like I said, the World Series will probably maybe link it to November again, which has happened before. So I don't think that's a big deal. But I'm just glad overall baseball was able to get together. Like I said, a lot of politics in baseball, like it always is. I spoke on it that I think everybody's at fault. I think the players are somewhat at fault for not, pushing the game more, promoting the game more. But I think also the owners and everyone up top is also responsible for that as well. So I think, but as a baseball fan, I love the game. So I'm not hard to please. As long as I got baseball, I'm good. But I think for the younger generation, I think they need to maybe change some things up. So that's why I like with the DH thing. Like I said, me personally, I like the strategy of having a pitcher hit. Or force. I really feel like my father used to say it all the time. Rest in peace to my dad. But he used to say he ain't understand why the pitchers wasn't great hitters, because as a pitcher, you have a mindset of pitching on the mound, so you should have a mindset at the plate, like, all right, curve, like knowing what pitchers might pitch. So it's kind of hard to believe that most pitchers were bad hitters. So and I kind of believe that as well. So So now we have to worry about none of that. It'll be a DH. It'll be basically an artificial hitter. And I think in the future, even though to me, I think, everybody talk about the Hall of Fame, I think it's based on, especially if you're a position player, based on your numbers, which you do offensively anyway. Like they're more for this defense. I think offense really pretty much carry that. So, but I'm just glad it's back. I'm glad well, it never really left because we're not gonna miss a whole season or part of the season. So, but still, I'm just glad we're gonna be able to get a full season in, and baseball will start April 7th. Spring training starts March 17th, which is Thursday. So, can't wait for that. I have more baseball notes now that this is over with. Probably be little things. Maybe I'll start doing divisions week by week, previewing divisions. So I'm gonna start doing some research on that. All right, so let's move on to the NBA. The NBA, and the NBA, since the All-Star break, been lit. Been crazy. As I speak right now, the Warriors are playing the Milwaukee Bucks on primetime TV, ABC. Could be a finals for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Golden State Warriors. I think that, like I said, I think the Warriors still need Draymond to complete them. I think they will just be a streaky team. Like they have games where they just out of their mind, and then they have games where they just can't get together. I think Draymond Green is the glue. Milwaukee, I think, like I said, they've been coasting through. A lot of people, because it's Milwaukee, you still doubt on what. But Giannis, I think they sort of just taking their time. They just want to get the good positions. I think they just want to be healthy. I think once they get, if they get in the playoff healthy, I think you'll see they full potential. I don't think they worried about the regular season. Which I think it's a good thing for them. So. The touch on the LeBron thing, another 50-point game. I did have a little short on the last time he did it, and I also say he's the second best player of all time, since the NBA in the 75th season. Did another list. Like I said, LeBron doing at 37. It's just amazing. Like he's shooting the ball better than I've ever seen him do it. That was used to be one of his weaknesses. Was shooting the ball. But he's shooting the ball well. 6 of 9 from 3 against the Wizards the other night. He's just amazing. That's why I think he's the second best player ever for sure. I don't think it's any question. Some people question that as well. But some people put him over Michael Jordan because he's number one. Some people put him over him. But as far as this season with the Lakers period, I think this the type of games he got to play. I think he got to play out of his mind every game for them to win games. And it was just against the Wizards. Even though they kind of beat the Wizards convincingly, but when he scored 50 the other night, it was a close game. They needed every point in that game. I think the player against the good teams, he would have to play it like that. And I just think it's just impossible for him at this point in his career. So. I think overall it's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing short term. I think long term it might be a hindrance. But Lakers always talked about because of the Lakers, but Russell Westbrook had an up and down year. So it's Anthony Davis more down because he's been hurt and not even been out there. But I think, with all three of those guys, I think maybe because it's late in the season, it might be a little bit impossible to look to see. But to me, like I said, I said it multiple times, I think they're just too talented to not be further along than what they are. But I think they still will make the playoffs, at least to play in for sure. But after that, I think it's going to be taken over their face. And even if they get out of the play-in, you're going to play Phoenix. We're going to talk about them in a few seconds. I think they're going to play the Suns, and if they play them, it's going to be tough for them. If they play the Warriors, it'll be kind of tough. Even though I think they match up better with the Warriors, because LeBron can Definitely because the Warriors' weakness to me, which I didn't bring up when I was talking about them, I think, which I probably said last time I was on, they small. They're a small team. They don't have a lot of big men that can, you know, control the paint, on a consistent basis. So I think if you dedicate yourself going to the basket, I think the Warriors could be beat. But then if they then combine that with a shooting night from them, as long as they ain't shooting threes off the charts, I think if you go inside and dominate there, which is possible, I think that's their biggest weakness there. Even with Draymond back, or Memphis, sort of the same. I think they got some more skilled big men, but but see, Ja Morant could neutralize that, get to the basket, even though the Lakers, I think the Lakers need to use their big men. I think that's another problem. I don't understand why they don't utilize the Dwight Howard more. The guys, the big guys they have more. But forget all that. Congratulations to LeBron. It's a big accomplishment. 50 points twice in 1 week. I think he's capable of doing it again. We still got a good month left of the season. But I think the Lakers better try to position themselves somewhere where they can maybe make a run. If not, I think they'd be one and done, or maybe not even get out the play-in. That's the danger they're in right now, and I think LeBron would have to play like this for them to really compete with a better team. Matter of fact, he got the 50 against the Warriors. Now I remember last Saturday night. So if he could, he would have to play like that for the Lakers to be relevant or to have a chance. More NBA news. Let's congratulate Greg Popovich becoming an all-time winningest coach. I think it's just regular season. I don't think it's all-time. I think, like I said, I think Phil Jackson has that still. But Coach Popovich, sort of in a way underrated. Been in San Antonio since '95, so pushing 25 years, 30, almost 30 years. He's an excellent coach. What he's done with, to me, and this is opinion, I think Tony Parker and manager Ginobili, I think, they foreign players, so, they always different. Foreign players always, their games is always different than here in the States, but what he got out of them too, I think, was one of his biggest accomplishments in his career. Tim Duncan was Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was great at college. He was polished. I think, he was easy to, coach and everything. But I think Parker and Ginobili had to buy in. Because what he did with Kawhi Leonard, even though Kawhi Leonard wound up leaving, I think that's sort of a blemish on this record. Because, you would think if you got a great coach, Kawhi would have wanted us to stay. And I think if he would have stayed, I think the Spurs would still be one of the elite teams in the Western Conference. I think when Kawhi left, that pretty much pulled the covers off of the Spurs. But despite that, I think Greg Popovich is a great coach. He can't be denied of what he's done. Even what he's doing with this team this year, they still under 500, but they compete. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. That's what a lot of you remember of the Spurs, the 5 championships, of course, that Greg Popovich just have. So I just wanted to point that out and congratulate him, and hope he, But to me, he got that. To be honest, I think he got that sort of retirement vibe. Like, I feel like he might walk away. Wouldn't be shocked if that happened, but congratulations to the Spurs and Greg Popovich. He's definitely one of the greatest coaches of all time in the NBA, and hopefully he continues to coach and build on his wins. Now, I did rate down Suns and Nets. As far as with the Suns, I put okay. Like, I'm sure they okay. I watched them last weekend. They're doing okay without Chris Paul. They clinched the playoff spot. I think they're going to be number 1 in the West. I did say in one of my shorts about the Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies were so hot today, but maybe the Grizzlies will get really hot and catch the Suns, but I don't think they're going to catch the Suns now. I'll go ahead and retract that. I admit that. They're not going to touch Phoenix. Phoenix is what, 55? They got 55 wins. They're going to be probably in the mid 60s by the time the season's over. Now they don't like Chris Paul is still a big loss, but I think Devin Booker's leadership has grown. Ayton has played very well, and the guys behind him, Payne, and the other point guards, the guards, has really stepped up for the Suns. So I think they still decent, still will compete. Crowder still played well, so I think the Suns is a good basketball team. And they're gonna ride this wave and still be able to hold it down before Chris Paul come back. And I think, like I said, I did say this as well, even though I didn't think it was going to happen. I was like, well, maybe it's rare if it happens, like for them to really be in a better situation without Chris Paul being out, because everybody get the experience. You already got the culture there, so you get your playing time, be in a rhythm. So I think they'd be a stronger team, and at least that's what it looked like. That's what's going towards that direction. They didn't fold, so shout out to the Suns. The Nets I put okay with a question mark. They made a statement to me the other night against Philadelphia Thursday night. Ben Simmons, the big whole thing around him. But the Nets said they was motivated by, Ben Simmons getting the bad treatment for the Philly fans. They booed him and everything. Kyrie Irving looked great. Kevin Durant. But like I think I said on the short as well. I was impressed more by the role players with the Nets, because I think that's what's going to really carry them. I think Durant going to do his thing. I mean, he's one of the greatest players of all time as well. One of the greatest players in the league right now. He's going to do what he do. But Kyrie as well, like when he's there, forget the vaccination thing. Like, to me, like I said, he made us stand, and that's what he's standing on. So hopefully it'll change. But if not, I still think when he's out there, even on the road, because the Nets is so low, so this might be a benefit. That the Nets are on a lower tier, that they always be on the road. So that means, if you do force a Game 7 to be on the road, Kyrie to be there. So I look at it that way. And, he's just still a great player despite anything you might think about the man. But he's standing for something, so I'm not going to judge him on that. I mean, I hope he's there, but, I'm not going to judge him on it. And, like I said, with the role players that stepped up for the Nets, Steph Curry, not Steph Curry, the little brother. I really, like I said, when they made that trade, I thought that was the guy that I think Philly probably wanted to try to keep, but it probably wouldn't have happened for Harden. And the touch on Harden, everybody, was down on him. Can't argue it, because, see, like in bigger games, he don't shoot the ball well, or something happens, or he don't show up. And this was a big game, at least right now. It's a regular season game, but at least in the moment, it was a big game, and he was sort of showed up small. But I was more impressed with the Nets role players stepping up. So that's why I believe what they said when they went in the, you just think it would be something they definitely would say, oh, well, we played for Ben. I think it was true, because the role players even was, at their maximum level. Like, that, to me, that was the best game of the year for the Nets, in my opinion. So, we'll see, is they okay? I think so. I think like I said, they still gonna make the playoffs. Can they get to the top 6? I don't know. I think they can. But, I think, they'd be a scary team. Like, just say if they are on that really bottom half, to be a 7 or 8. And Miami or whoever. Honestly, I think Milwaukee going to wind up being the 1. Either Milwaukee or Philly. I think Miami might go over there, because Miami, with Bam playing like he played, I think last night, he had a monster game last night as well. Miami is like one of those teams that's like you're just not sure about, because, and I think somebody, somewhere I saw it, somewhere on social media, like they don't have like a true superstar. Jimmy Butler is respected, and Bam is respected. The players the whole organization is respected. Miami, Pat Riley's running it, so they respect it as an organization. But when you need that guy to just, I'm taking over this game, they probably don't have that guy. But I think as a team, they can still do it. So I'm not going to dismiss them like that. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee wind up turning it on, or Philly. Even Philly with despite how they just looked against the Nets. One of them two being a one, but 1 or 2 or 3, because 3 would get to 6. So, and I think nobody don't want to see the Nets. So, that's my takeaway from the game the other night, and just the Nets period. So we'll see how everything shake out. We got a long way to go, and I'll give you updates every week. Okay, let's get to the NFL, because we're not running out of time, but I'm been on here already a half hour. My first note I got here: Aaron Rodgers getting the $200 million from the Packers. The money, I'm not surprised either or. The money or him staying in Green Bay. I never really thought he was going to leave Green Bay. Maybe in the back of my mind, I was like, well, maybe it's possible. He was talking, whatever. But then I start seeing the other, looking around the other situations, like Green Bay, despite everything they gone through. He's won 2 straight MVPs there in the last 2 years. They've been the 1 seed both years, I believe. Was it the 1 seed this year? Yeah, they was the 1 seed this year and last year. They just was wound up getting beat. But I just think, I think Aaron, honestly, I think in the back end, he probably won't admit this, but I think him staying there is basically admitting that, all right, I got to play better in the playoffs. That's how I look at it. Maybe that's why he stayed. Like, he knew, it's not just the organization. It's him. He got to play better in the playoffs. And I think he looked himself in the mirror somewhat. Green Bay gave him the money, and he kept, he took it. But I think, in the deepest sense, I think he said, I got to play better. So maybe that's what's going on here, but like I said, I think he's a great quarterback. I have debates with people about, greatest all time. I don't put him in the greatest all time category yet, because, it is about accomplishments, somewhat, despite your arm talent, despite all them things, because everybody say he's the greatest they ever seen. Even I believe that. I think it's not too many quarterbacks by just me seeing them, or watch them on television, basically, because I've never been to an NFL game. But me seeing what I've seen on television, or whatever you want to call it, he's one of the greatest I've ever seen, like making certain throws that I never see other players make. Like I said, I was coming up, Brett Favre was my guy. I like to watch. I guess right now, like it's Aaron Rodgers, it's Patrick Mahomes, guys you want to really watch. But a lot of young guys coming up, like Justin Herbert and Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Me being a Ravens fan, those guys are the guys you want to see. I think the league is in good hands. Brady retiring, Roethlisberger retiring. They was the guys. Peyton Manning was amazing to me to watch, like how he commanded the offense, especially pre-snap. I never seen nobody else do what he did pre-snap in my life. So I'm just fortunate to see all these guys. But Rodgers, I said it. I did a short on this too. I think he gotta get a Super Bowl within these 4 years. He gotta get one. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say either next year or this year. He has to be either in the Super Bowl or he has to win it, man. Like to validate it. I think if he don't, I think more people will start coming around saying, he's not, he had a great career, but just like Marino. Even though I didn't see Marino much, but I heard so many stories about Marino that he was great, but no Super Bowl ring. He'd be in that category. Even though Rodgers got one, but I think he'd be more closer to Marino than Brady. Basically. So that's my thoughts on that. But I mean, congratulations to him. And I'm not surprised he stayed. Like I said, like I said, a couple of big trades in the working on coming up this week. The Carson Wentz to the Washington Commanders. I had to definitely read that because, like I said, I get confused about to call them the other team, the Washington football team, or the other, formerly known as the other word. I'm not going to say because I try to respect people with that. But Carson Wentz, I did a show on that, so I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. Like, I think, for the Colts, now they gotta find another quarterback. But now that we're gonna talk about Deshaun Watson coming up. But now that he's free, maybe they're getting the running of trying to get him. And that would definitely let Wentz go for that. But I think for Washington though, I think, like I said, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick was only on a 1-year deal anyway. So he got hurt. He was out for the year, so that was it. I like Tyler Heineke, but he's not, I would have to still say Carson Wentz is a better option. So maybe Washington thinking about it on that end. They didn't give up too much for him. But what a lot of people saying is, why did the Colts let him go? You had Frank Wright, which was, he had a lot of success with in Philadelphia when he was in Philadelphia. And he was on his way to an MVP, he was, maybe the Eagles still would have made the Super Bowl. We don't know. We'll never know that, but Nick Foles took over and was able to get the job done. And even the next year, even the year after, when they made a deep run, I think they got to the NFC Championship game with Nick Foles as well. And Wentz got hurt. So, a lot of people saying the Eagles just had a good football team. And Wentz could benefited off that. But I think this stop would be like if he struggles here or don't get it done here. I think after that, if Washington wind up letting him go or moving on from him, I think he's going to have a hard time. He'll always be a backup. He'll be in that category. So this is pretty much his last shot to be a decent quarterback or a starter. So. But I think that will motivate him maybe. And he's back in the NFC East, so he gets to go against the Eagles again. And all the other teams. Like I said, I ain't gonna lie, I picked Washington to win the division last year, but they didn't do it, or they didn't even make the playoffs. I think Dallas right now, you have to give it to Dallas right now. But the Eagles are coming. The Eagles was better off. They actually made the playoffs. They be better off. I think Jalen Hurts is a decent quarterback. If the Eagles keep building around him and on the defensive side of the ball, I think the Eagles will be formidable. So Washington gonna have a hard time, but I think the trade, I think it works out for both teams. I think Wentz, I think he needs sort of a kick in the butt. I think this is more of a kick in the butt. So I think in Indy, he might have, because the Frank Wright was there, he got sort of maybe some, I want to say, because I don't know, but maybe some just off an outside looking at, maybe he got the benefit of the doubt a lot when he came short. Well, people thinking Frank Wright can still fix him, but I think that's a detriment to him that the Colts gave up on him after one season. So I think he'd be motivated by all that stuff. I think he'll do well at Washington. Washington got a good offensive, got some offensive talent there, but I think the defense to me for Washington was disappointing last year. I think that's where they went wrong last year anyway. I think Tyler Heineke, he didn't play great, but he didn't make huge mistakes at the wrong times. The defense pretty much gave up big plays more than you thought they were, even though they had some injuries, especially at the end of the season. So that's my thoughts on that. I want to touch on Deshaun Watson because that's the biggest news that's been coming, lately. He will not be criminally charged. That's the biggest part of this news. So that means it's going to say civil. So he's still going to get sued by these women. Allegedly, he did what he did, the massage parlors or whatever. I will speak on this in a couple ways. First of all, my first thoughts about this, like I said, I was like, wow, because if it started off with just 1 or 2 women, I was like, okay, maybe this is just. But when it got to like, more than 5, and then it got all the way up to 22, I was like, dang, there gotta be some truth to this. But then I'm gonna speak on myself. I'm gonna put myself on blast here, as a man, especially as a single man. And I say single because, when you're a single man, you might like to flirt or whatever. I think he was flirting with probably a lot of these women. But him being an NFL player, being the stature that he was, I think, and nowadays, period, if you have a stature, people gonna, take something small and turn it into something big, even if he was wrong. He might have been flat out wrong. He might have just, because some of the stuff they said, he was basically revealing himself and all this other stuff. That's going too far. But as far as just talking, and I ain't gonna front, like massages, man, like massages do it for me. That's why I know I could never get a massage, well, from nobody, but definitely a woman. Like it would just put me in a certain mood. So I don't think I can, as a man, I'll be honest, I don't think I can do it anyway. Like something gonna happen. Even if I was saying something, I just rather not do that. So, but all that being said, I'm getting off topic here. Teams are more interested now because now, he might still get a suspension, which I read that as well. But as far as like going to jail, like all that's out the window. So you might just get a big fine, or like I said, or civil. You might still have to give up some money on the civil side. That ain't finalized yet. But as far as criminally charged, you're not gonna be criminally charged. So teams, especially Carolina, they came out today and said we're gonna pretty much put all our chips on the table to try to get him. And I think that'd be a decent fit for him. But I would like to see him in, like, because other teams are interested pretty much a lot of teams are interested. But like Tampa, since Brady's gone, that'd be a great team to go to. New Orleans, with Drew Brees retiring. Shout out to Drew Brees, by the way. With him retiring full time, that would be a great destination, even though Sean Payton not there. So I think that's sort of bring it down a little bit that Sean Payton not there, but still New Orleans is talented. Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara is sort of, I think I don't know if he was asking for a trade or, the rumor that he would be traded, whatever. But, if he stays and then Michael Thomas come back fully committed, I think that could be a good fit. Seattle, with Russell Wilson moving to Denver, that's another thing. That's what I didn't write down here. I'm going to touch on that briefly as well before we get off of here. Let me see how much time I got. I'm starting to run all over time, so I got to hurry it up here. But I get the venting, man. I just get the venting. But that'd be good for Seattle with McCaff and Lockett. So we'll see where he want to go. He got a no trade clause, so just like Russell Wilson, he obviously wanted to go to Denver. So, where do Deshaun Watson want to go? We'll find out that, I guess, sooner than later. But like I said, I'm happy for the young man, because like I said, my initial thought as well was I just felt sorry for the guy that he's so young. He was at the top of his career, and he lost a year because of this. And but like I said, he might have did some things that was wrong. I don't know if he's single either, because I'm just saying if he's single, because if you got a woman in any type of way, then you shouldn't even be thinking that. But that's why I wouldn't even go put myself in that predicament, because I like massages make me feel good. So I was like, nah, I wouldn't do it, just if I had a woman. But I'm guessing he was a single guy, just mostly women must have met off Instagram, like anybody. Now let's be real, Instagram, man, I stay off Instagram too. There's a lot of beautiful women on Instagram. It's so many elements to this that makes this story, I think, seem worse than what it is. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. But I hope he lands where he want to go. At least he got the control of that. I definitely don't think he's playing in Houston no more. I think that ship has sailed, so they're gonna have to move him. And some teams are interested, especially Carolina. Carolina basically said, we'll give you pretty much whatever you want. So many words for them. But if you want to go there, then that's where you go. If it's not, then we'll see. And it's in terms of the Russell Wilson thing, I think it's a good fit for him and Denver. I think Denver got some good skilled players. The receivers there are great. The defense is great, so I think he can fit there. He's already used to somewhat of that area. Seattle and Denver's not totally far away. But everybody with Russell Wilson last year when he had all these rumors, everybody was thinking it was Sierra. She want to go to California, want to go to LA and all these big cities. But Denver is definitely not a big city. So if he waved that off, I'm guessing she pretty much was good with that too. So, but forget that part, just the football part of it. I think Denver, that significantly improves Denver. And they'd be contender. But and the AFC West will be crazy with the Chargers with Herbert, like I brought up earlier. Kansas City still Kansas City. The Raiders, they was a playoff team, so you can't dismiss them. And then Denver now, so that's going to be a tough division next season. All right, so let's wrap things up here. NCAA March Madness about to start tomorrow. People start filling out their brackets. The selection Sunday is tomorrow. Some games going on right now, championship games, semifinal games, and everything. So maybe I have something next week for y'all for that. I'm not a big college basketball fan like I used to be. I'm pretty much, like, for the last few years I ain't been really following it too much. But I do like to watch it around this time of year, so maybe I have some more things to say about that next week. But other than that, like I said, glad baseball back. NHL is in full string as well. I'll be trying to find some NHL news, to talk about, some interesting news to talk about, but I'll be honest, it's just a lot of people just not into it. Like, so I always put baseball for you. I do baseball for me, really. I like to talk about baseball. I don't really do it for the crowd because the crowd don't want to hear that. So, but more updates on the channel. I'm still doing Resident Evil Village. Like I said, I got a few videos left for that, so we'll do that. I'm thinking about getting, now that baseball is officially back, I'm thinking about getting the show MLB on PS4. I still got a PS4. I don't got a PS5 yet. I'm thinking about getting the PS4 version and playing that, putting it on the channel. I'm gonna look at some other games that I want to probably do and put it on the channel. I have some new content, finish some content I didn't finish. Like, I got some Sonic Mania content I didn't finish, and some other things, Cuphead, like some other stuff I didn't finish. So I want to finish those things. Now that I haven't studied it, I do have an issue coming up in the next week or so. I gotta clear that up. But hopefully, even if I wind up going for a while, it's not gonna be as long as I have been. I'm gonna try to handle that problem, make sure we keep it. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad everybody's here. It's not a live show, but I'm glad to be here with you guys tonight. Appreciate it so much. I'm gonna try, like I said, do a video every Saturday, even if it's daytime or nighttime. I appreciate you guys. I had a real rough day today at work, man. And one other thing I want to say, like I said, I'm running out of time, but like I said, I be on YouTube all the time. I support other channels, listen to other people. I'm not gonna put anybody specifically out there. I don't try to build the channel that way, like to try to link up with other YouTubers, but I think because it's so bad out here, a lot of YouTubers are untrustworthy. And I understand it. Sometimes I be trying to, like, talk to other YouTubers, just on a humble thing, but I think they probably see that my channel is somewhat, doing things, so they probably thinking that's my reason of talking, and that's not. I just be sometimes wanting to have general conversations, or just be supportive, Like I said, I've seen it. I've seen it in a bigger scale with the bigger YouTubers, how everybody cut each other's throats. And even me being a small YouTuber that I am, I've seen people have cut my throat. They ask me to do this for them. I do it blindly, just out of being humble, try to help somebody. and then they don't return a favor. They say, well, yeah, I subscribe to you. Just simple stuff like that. I subscribe to you. I think I talked about this before now. But now I've really seen it since I've been off of YouTube and watching other people, how people just turn on you or use your name just to build their channel. I'll never do that ever. Even when if I want to build on somebody else's platform, I'm not going to even bring my channel up unless they ask me to. Then I will, but not just, that won't be my main focus. It'd be because I want to really talk about the subject they talking about or really be supportive. It's not about that. Like I said, but I'll be honest, I want my channel to grow, but I'm not going to do it that way. I'd rather grind for years. Like I said, I've already been on here, like I said, over 5 years, maybe more. And I'm still a small, still barely a blip on the map at all. But I just won't sell my soul to get more subscribers or to grow my channel. I just hope that, people see me and take the genuineness of the channel and spread the word. But if not, that's fine, But like I said, my main goal at first, anyway, and it's still my goal. That's still something I could come back maybe 10 years later, just look back on this and say, wow, with the games and stuff like that, it's like I'm building a library, so even if my channel don't grow, I'm grateful that I could just come back and look at it one day and say, wow, this was me at this point in my life or this point in my life. So, but I thank you guys. Like I said, I think I got some solid supporters, so I'm grateful for everybody, and I'm glad to be back on YouTube. Hopefully, like I said, this will be steady. I plan on doing steady blogs and steady, being on the show, being on the having the kind of channel active. That's what I'm trying to say. And thank you guys so much. I'm Troy West. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Appreciate everyone. Subscribe and like if you like it. Appreciate all of the views and everything. And I love you guys, man. I'll see you guys next week. Well, I'll see you throughout the week because I'll do shorts if something big happens, and I'll be on with other games. Mortal Kombat 11, that's what I want to announce as well. I'll probably put up some videos of that because I just downloaded that, even though it's an older game as well. But I had it when it first came out, but I just didn't post the videos about it, so I think I will this time. Thank you so much. I'm Troy West. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.